Hi everyone, I'm Bee and welcome back to my channel where I talk about things that I'm interested in and things that I like. And today I've been thinking about games that I want to play again for the first time, or at least play again at all. I've kind of been thinking about some of the greatest games for me in my lifetime. And honestly, I've been thinking about that because I feel like I'm in a little bit of a gaming slump right now. So back in 2020, I got into a big reading slump and I couldn't stop playing video games for a good year and a half. I was just playing games and just really into gaming. And then I slowly started to get back into reading, and I feel like reading is now where I'm spending a bunch of my time. I'm out of my reading slump, but now I'm kind of into this gaming slump where I haven't really played a good game in a long time. So it's been making me think about games that I used to play, that I used to love playing, that I feel like I wish I could play them again for the first time. That it's almost impossible to have that experience again, no matter how many updates the game gets, you know? I guess I could do a little bit of a kind of category of these. Let's start with games that I just wish I could play again at all. I have tried to get emulators in the past on my computer, but it's honestly just not the same, especially without the original controller. Let's talk about my first one. It's Goemon's Great Adventure from N64. This game was, I think, one of the first games on my N64 that I could not stop playing. I literally asked my parents if I could wake up at 4 a.m. to play the game before I went to school. They were kind of giving me the side eye, wait a minute, I don't know about this. They were very cautious about it and very much limited my game time, which is fine, and I accept what my parents did for me, but also I wanted to game. Goemon's Great Adventure is a platformer, I guess, and it's following this character Goemon, who is trying to rescue a princess or princesses in this world, similar to Mario, but instead of following the exact same Mario kind of idea, he has different characters that he can add on to his team. So as further you get within the levels, the more characters you can unlock. And so there's Goemon, who's the main character, and then you have another character who has a bun on the top of his head, and he has a special power where he'll punch people with the bun shooting out of his head. It's really cool. And then there's this other character who's kind of big and round, and he's kind of the bumbling sidekick, always trying to catch up to Goemon. And then there was another character that I was actually never able to unlock, and it was a mermaid character, and I was determined to unlock the mermaid character. And honestly, if my parents had let me wake up at 4 a.m. for a solid week, I may have been able to unlock that mermaid character. But I never did, and I don't think I ever will, because I don't have an N64 and I don't have the game. And the emulator, I think I did find it online, but the controller that I have doesn't quite match up with the original controls for the game, so some of the levels were almost impossible without a partner to play with, and I don't know if I'll ever find that again. Okay, the next game that I wish I could play again is Kirby Air Ride. Kirby's Air Ride, whatever. This Kirby game was on the GameCube, and it was basically a racing game with Kirby, similar to Mario Kart on the Nintendo. But this game, they had so many cool characters and vehicles that you could unlock, and I did end up unlocking all of them, but there was this one other unlock screen, one or two other unlock screens that were little squares, and you had to unlock, you got achievements basically on this grid of squares, and I did not get all of the achievements before I stopped playing that game, but I absolutely loved that game. The city missions were so cool. I still remember the music from that game. Such a great game. I think about that game all the time. I wish I could go play that game again, today. I wish I could finish this video and go play that game today, because I loved that game. I played that game so much. For a very non-gamer kid, I was a gamer for that game, for sure. The next game that I wish I could play again And I don't know, this is kind of edging into wish I could play again for the first time, because I don't think that if I ever like played this game again, that it would be the same. But this game is Fable 2, and I remember playing this on the Xbox 360, and I just thought it was so cool that you could change your character based on the choices that you could make. Like your character could be more evil or more good based on what you did in the world. And I can't remember if it was Fable 2 or Fable 3 or if it was both of them, but they had these like gnomes throughout the world that you could like search and find and collect basically. And these gnomes would always say like really awful things to you as you walked by, and that's how you knew you were near a gnome, to be able to find it.
Oh, I love doggies. I love throwing them into the river in a sack.
I sensed your presence before you even arrived.
What did you eat?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate you.
I love that game. I think about that game a lot. And just the world, just being able to explore the world and do different things and go over different missions. I think it was like the first role-playing game that I ever really got into as far as gaming goes. And it just really hit well for me. I liked the story, I liked the worlds, I liked the missions. The world felt very like tangible to me, but I really, really enjoyed that game. I do miss that game like a lot. Okay, let's just say these last 3 games are games that I wish I could play again for the first time, because I have tried to play these games over again, and the second, third, fourth experience is just not the same as the first time, and I miss it so much. And I'm gonna start with Portal 1 and Portal 2. I love the Portal franchise. It's so much fun. Getting to see like fan-made movies and music and just like art is just honestly so much fun. This whole world is just such a funny, cool, like concept. And playing the games for the first time was transformative for me. Just a magical experience. I think I played Portal 1 pretty close to the time that Portal 2 released. So I was able to play Portal 1 and Portal 2 like back to back, which made me love the franchise more because the games were just so cohesive and like very like building off of each other, right? Like Portal 1 definitely was a landmark for like the FPS platformer, so to speak, or puzzle game. And Portal 2 just built off of it and just like expanded the whole concepts that you were dealing with, which was just such a cool franchise. Again, wish I could play it again for the first time, because I remember just feeling like in awe and just like so invested in the Portal universe. I wanted to see the turrets at the end and Gladys and what happened to everybody, you know, and did really love the Portal franchise. Okay, the next 2 are a little bit newer games that have come out recently. And the first one is Astroneer, which is a game on Steam where you are a little astronaut and you're terraforming this planets and solar system. And it is such a cool game. When I played it for the first time, and so cute and so like, I don't know, addicting. You basically colonize one planet, and you have this terraforming gun where you can dig into the core of the planet, and that leads you to deeper secrets within the solar system. And it was just so much fun. Just a fun little space building game with not a lot of like tension or like fighting, just like very calming, nice game to play. Enjoying the landscape and building a little factory on the planet, you know? It was just cute and fun and nice. And I have tried to play it recently, and the updates they have done to that game have just changed it like completely from the original, and have definitely changed my feelings about the game since playing it. Okay, the last game that I'm gonna mention is a game that came out in, I think, 2020, and it has another game within its franchise coming out supposedly next year. They've already pushed it back like 2 years, and honestly, I'm gonna cry about it because this is one of my favorite games. And that game is Cloudpunk. When this game first came out, COVID had just hit, and the game was like on sale, like 50% off. And I bought it, and I fell in love with it, like instantly. I spent a night and a half playing through this game where you are a delivery driver in a cyberpunk voxel city set in a million years in the future. And it is just so, I don't know how to describe it. Like, the cyberpunk universe is definitely dystopian. It's very obvious and clear from the beginning of the game that this is a city that's like corrupt and sad and depressing and harmful to pretty much everyone who lives in it. But it was just so enchanting. Just like the rain and the cyber synthwave music playing in the background and driving through the buildings on your little hover car just was so aesthetic, and it was literally exactly what I needed at the start of COVID, because it just made me feel like, I don't know, in this little tiny escape bubble, and I didn't have to worry about the rest of the world. It was amazing, and I miss that game. I miss playing it for the first time. It did have a DLC that came out like as a sequel called Cloudpunk City of Ghosts, which continues the night that you spend as a delivery driver in the first game, and I thought it was very good. I loved the DLC, and I am eagerly anticipating the other game that they have coming out called Nivalis, which is basically set in the city from the original game, and it's supposed to be some kind of like simulator, life simulator, and I want to play it so bad, and it looks so good, and I'm waiting. I've been waiting for so long. I don't know what else to do except for just like hope and pray and just plead that they release it next year. It was supposed to come out this year though. So those are my games that I wish I could play again for the first time, or play again at all, because some of these games are pretty old, because I am pretty old. If you played any of these games and liked them or didn't like them, what did you think? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. If you think that there's a game that's similar to these that I haven't mentioned that you think I would like, I would love to hear from you. I am definitely looking for another game to play while I'm trying to escape reality. So please send your recommendations my way. I hope you have a fabulous day, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!